Hello. How many of you have heard about the campaign Click It or Ticket? How many of you think that seatbelts can save lives? My name is Rafael, and tonight I'm gonna give you some information about the use of seatbelts and how can they save lives. The purpose is to inform and in some cases persuade people to change their mindset about the usage of seatbelts while driving a motor vehicle. I will start by pointing out some of the advantages of wearing the seatbelts. One advantage is protection of life. Seatbelt usage reduces the chance of traffic-related fatalities by 45%. According to National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, 2009, 15,000 people were saved because of the usage of seatbelts. To illustrate those numbers, I'm going to use this chart where the blue column is showing 15,000 accidents as an example. 45% of that 15,000 people is 3,750 shown in the red column. The green column is showing the people that were fatalities, showing a great difference with 11,250 people that died from not using the seat belts. Another advantage is the prevention of ejection from the car after a crash. Most cases, wearing the seat belt prevents the ejection from the car. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration statistics show 75% of drivers ejecting during a crash die. Only 1% wearing the seatbelt will survive. Here's another chart showing these numbers. I'm going to use 1,000 accidents involving an ejection from the car in the blue column. That's 75% that died because didn't wear the seat belts. 75% of 1,000 is 750 people. Big difference from only 1% representing 100 people. You can see the difference. It's not perfect. There's people that is gonna die wearing the seat belts anyway. But do you prefer a 75% chance of living or just 1%? Injuries, as you know, the seatbelt will restrain you when the impacts of the crash happen. It will keep you from moving and hitting the inside of the vehicle, preventing some injuries. For injuries, there's the prevention is 50%. So it doesn't matter if it's a huge crash or a small crash, you will have 50% of chance of not having any injuries if you're wearing the seat belts. Purple, again I'm using 1,000 accidents, and then from those 1,000 accidents, 500 people wearing seat belts will have some kind of injuries, and 500 will not have any injuries. The severity, that's another factor when you use the seat belts. The spread of the force of the impact because of the restraint of the seat belts will be minimized. Comparing if you are completely loose, you're going to be bouncing around. You will have more severity of injuries. And the severity also shows a 5-to-1 severity. So if you're wearing a seat belt, it's probably going to be the severity of your injuries will be less, showing 5 times greater for an injury while you're not wearing the seat belt. Red, 5 times injuries without the seat belt. 1 is minimal comparing to the 5 times you're gonna suffer if you're not wearing the seat belt. And another advantage is the cost. When I talk costs, I'm talking about the medical bill. The medical bill you have to pay for injuries suffered from a crash. According to the numbers from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, showing that a medical bill can be 60% lower for people wearing the seat belts. Showing this graph, for example, I'm using the blue graph is the $10,000 medical bill. From a $10,000 medical bill, 60% less will be under $2,000 for a person wearing the seat belts. If you're not wearing a seatbelt, you may be paying up to $10,000 because probably the injuries will be greater, so you will have more treatment to go through with the medical staff. Now that you know some of the advantages of wearing seatbelts, I want to present some of the excuses for not wearing seatbelts. In my opinion, some of them are very stupid. One of them, I'm afraid of getting stuck in the crash, in the car, inside the car. If you get in a huge impact from the crash, you may be killed or you may be unconscious. What is gonna prevent you from coming out of the car anyway? So your first thing should be being safe and then take care of getting out of the car. Another excuse is it makes me feel restrained. If you don't feel restrained at some level, then your seatbelt is not providing you with the security it's supposed to, because that's the purpose, keep you restrained, moving around. When a crash or some kind of impact happen, you will stay in place, preventing you from injuries. Another excuse is I cannot look before making a turn. And the seatbelt will only restrain your chest, so you are still available to look over both shoulders, both directions, and look if you can turn or not. So that should not be an excuse for not to use the seatbelt. Another excuse is I forgot. And that's very unrealistic nowadays, because you will hear a lot of alarms or some kind of beeping device that will remind you all the time until you put your seatbelt on. And they are very annoying, so it's very hard to ignore. And the last one of my excuses, and I think the most ignorant one, is I have an airbag. Airbags are just a cushion device, it's not a restraint device. The use of the seatbelt plus the airbag will give you more security, more safety, but the use of the airbags alone will not keep you safe. Now that you know some facts about wearing and not wearing seatbelts, I would conclude my presentation with a summary of what I have informed you today. Talk to you about the advantages of wearing seatbelts and some of the excuses for not wearing seatbelts. I hope that the information provided gives you a better perspective of the importance of wearing the seatbelt and potential consequences coming from not wearing them. I hope this presentation helps to change the bad habit of not wearing seatbelts while driving or in passenger row in a vehicle.